The Evil Dead 1981 wasn't supposed to change horror forever. It was a low-budget cabin movie made by unknown filmmakers with borrowed money, homemade camera rigs, and actors sleeping on set because there was nowhere else to go. But buried inside the blood, the screams, and the shaking trees is a final moment most audiences never fully understood. A scene so unsettling, so quietly cruel, that it reframes the entire story. A scene that doesn't end the movie. It condemns its hero. These are the hidden truths behind The Evil Dead, and why the final seconds may reveal that Ash Williams never escaped at all. Number 1. The ending that refuses to end. Most horror films release tension at the finish line. The Evil Dead does the opposite. After surviving possession, mutilation, and isolation, Ash stands alone in the cabin. Dawn breaks. Silence settles. The night appears to be over. Then the camera moves. Not toward Ash, toward the woods. The unseen force rushes forward, faster than before, slamming into Ash from behind. The frame cuts to black. No explanation, no victory, no release. That final shot was not originally planned as a scare. It was designed as a punishment. Director Sam Raimi wanted the audience to feel what Ash feels, that survival means nothing if the evil never leaves. This was not an ending. It was a sentence. Number 2. The demon POV was a technical accident. The now iconic rushing camera wasn't a visual effect. It was desperation. With no money for effects, Raimi strapped a camera to wooden planks, bicycles, wheelchairs, even 2 crew members running full speed through the forest. The result wasn't clean, it was unstable, jerky, unnatural. But that instability became the film's most powerful idea. The demon is never shown because it has no form. It's motion itself, momentum, hunger. The camera doesn't observe evil, it is evil. That final rush at Ash isn't an attack, it's possession resuming. Number 3. The final scene was added after test screenings. Early versions of The Evil Dead ended quietly. Ash survives, morning arrives, the nightmare appears finished. Test audiences reacted poorly, not because the ending was weak, but because it felt false. The evil in the film never followed rules. It never respected light, logic, or closure. A peaceful ending betrayed everything that came before it. Sam Raimi recognized this immediately. He added the final rushing shot late in post-production. No dialogue, no music, just sudden impact. The studio objected. The ending was bleak, confusing, unmarketable. Raimi refused to remove it. He understood something critical. A horror film that tells the truth must deny comfort. This ending wasn't cruel. It was honest. Number 4. Ash's survival is a lie. Ash does not win in The Evil Dead. He lasts. Every possession is reversed not through strength but delay. Ash never gains control. He only reacts. He's always late, always scrambling, always behind the evil's next move. By morning, his body is intact, but his mind is fractured. Trauma has replaced agency. Survival becomes a technicality, not a victory. The final unseen blow suggests something far worse than death. The evil doesn't need Ash gone. It needs him hollowed out. That's why the film cuts instantly. No recovery, no aftermath, because whatever happens next is not a story of survival. It's a story of what comes after breaking. Number 5. The Necronomicon never stops working. The book is never destroyed, it is only interrupted. Burning the Deadites doesn't end the curse, it pauses it. The Necronomicon is not a spellbook with an off switch. It behaves like a broadcast. Once activated, it keeps transmitting. Ash read from it. The tape played. The woods responded. Nothing in the film suggests that connection is ever severed. No reversal ritual, no containment, no silence, which reframes the final rushing force completely. It isn't a last attack. It's a reminder. The signal is still active. The book is still open. And whatever answered the first time is still listening. Number 6. The evil isn't external. The most unsettling interpretation is also the simplest. The evil does not live in the woods. It lives in the cabin, and by the end, it lives in Ash. Possession in The Evil Dead spreads through proximity. Exposure matters. Presence matters. Ash spends the entire night immersed in it, surrounded by voices, blood, and decay. By the final scene, the unseen force may not be entering him at all. It may already be there, rising forward. That's why there's no possession sequence, no transformation, no struggle. The evil doesn't announce itself anymore. It doesn't need to. Number 7. The sound design hides a secret. Listen closely to the final seconds of the film. The rushing sound is different. Lower, slower, almost breath-like, less violent than earlier attacks. It doesn't scream, it exhales. Some sound engineers believe this change was intentional. The demon is no longer hunting, it's arriving. The urgency is gone. What remains is inevitability. Earlier, the sound feels predatory, fast and aggressive. At the end, it feels tidal, patient, overwhelming, not a creature chasing prey, a force reclaiming space. The sound tells you what the image never shows. This is not escalation. This is completion. Number 8. The ending was meant to loop. Sam Raimi has hinted that The Evil Dead was designed to behave like a cursed object rather than a conventional film. You don't simply watch it, you activate it, watch it, finish it, and the evil continues. The final rushing shot mirrors the opening movement through the forest with eerie precision. The angle is the same, the speed is the same, the intent is the same. Nothing has progressed. The story hasn't moved forward, it has curved back on itself. There is no true endpoint. The film doesn't conclude in the traditional sense. It resets. Like a loop that refuses to break, it suggests the evil doesn't care about individual victims or narrative resolution. It cares about repetition, about being experienced again and again. That looping structure reframes the ending entirely. It isn't closure, it's an invitation, an open door rather than a sealed one. The cycle was never meant to end. It was meant to persist, and every time the film starts again, the loop tightens. Number 9. Ash never leaves the cabin. There is no shot of Ash escaping the woods, no road, no rescue. Despite what later sequels suggest, the original Evil Dead never grants Ash freedom. The cabin is not simply a location, it is a closed system. Once entered, it does not release what it takes. Every potential escape collapses at precisely the wrong moment. The bridge gives way only after it has been crossed. The car fails only when escape becomes necessary. Even the forest itself feels aligned against departure, closing in as resistance weakens. By the final scene, Ash doesn't need to be trapped physically anymore. He belongs to the space now, not as a prisoner, but as part of its structure. Not a victim, a fixture, a caretaker, a vessel. The cabin remains standing because it has learned how to keep what it touches, and Ash, by surviving, has become one of its most enduring components. Number 10. The hidden final version. Some early international prints reportedly extended the ending by a single beat, with Ash screaming after the final impact. Those versions vanished. Sam Raimi preferred the cut that ends before reaction, because fear peaks in absence, not expression. A scream would give the audience release. Silence denies it. By cutting instantly, the film prevents emotional processing. There is no outlet, no shared reaction, no guidance on how to feel. The audience is forced to sit alone with the moment. That decision makes the ending colder, more final, more invasive. A scream would humanize Ash. It would remind us he's still there. Silence erases him. It suggests something has already been lost before we can even register it. What remains is not shock, but residue. The kind that lingers long after the screen goes black. That single missing beat is what makes the ending endure longer than any explicit horror ever could. Number 11. Why the ending was never explained. Studios wanted clarity, critics wanted logic, audiences wanted answers. Sam Raimi refused all of it, because explanation would weaken the horror. Evil in The Evil Dead is terrifying precisely because it resists definition. Once something is explained, it becomes manageable. Once it has rules, it becomes safe. The final scene offers no answers. It doesn't tell you what happens next. Instead, it implies that whatever happens is worse than certainty. There is no mythology breakdown, no final revelation, no reassurance hidden in subtext. The film ends by withholding meaning entirely. That refusal is deliberate. It forces the audience to carry the uncertainty with them, to sit inside the unanswered space the film creates. The horror doesn't conclude on screen, it migrates, and by denying explanation, The Evil Dead ensures that the fear survives beyond the runtime, untouched, undefined, and unresolved. Number 12. The true meaning of the final shot. The camera does not rush toward Ash, it rushes through him. That distinction is crucial. There is no visible collision, no possession sequence, no aftermath, because the transformation no longer needs to be shown. By the final seconds, Ash is no longer a character driving the story. He has crossed a threshold from subject to object, from survivor to component. The evil doesn't need to pursue him anymore. It has already incorporated him. That is why the cut is instant. Anything shown afterward would be redundant. There is no struggle left to witness, no resistance left to document. The horror is complete not because something happens, but because nothing more needs to. The story ends because Ash as an individual has ended. What remains is function, presence, continuation. The film doesn't close on defeat or victory, it closes on absorption. Number 13. The cabin is a trap, not a location. The cabin in The Evil Dead is often mistaken for a simple setting. In reality, it behaves like a mechanism. Characters don't arrive there by chance. They are drawn there. Every failure of escape occurs at the exact moment it becomes necessary. The bridge collapses only after crossing. The car fails only when hope depends on it. The woods tighten precisely as resistance weakens. This precision is not accidental. The cabin functions like a containment zone, an ancient holding cell designed to isolate victims long enough for the evil to work through them completely. Every room funnels movement inward. Every exit fails. Even fire only delays the process rather than ending it. By the final scene, the cabin doesn't need to stop Ash from leaving, because it already has. What remains inside the structure is no longer just a survivor, but a part of the system itself, locked in place by design. Number 14. The film never shows a true morning. Audiences often assume the evil ends because daylight arrives, but watch carefully. The lighting changes, yet the world does not. The woods remain motionless, no birds return, no wind stirs, no signs of life resume. The color palette stays drained and cold. Dawn never behaves like dawn. Some horror analysts believe this morning is not real time at all. It's a false calm, a manufactured pause, a psychological reset created to lower resistance before the final strike. That interpretation explains why the unseen force attacks only after peace appears restored. The evil doesn't strike at peak fear. It waits for relief. Hope was the final vulnerability, and once it appears, the illusion collapses. The night never truly ends. It only changes tactics. Number 15. The camera is the curse. The most unsettling possibility is also the most meta. The evil isn't just in the woods, it's in the point of view. Throughout The Evil Dead, the demon is represented entirely through camera movement. When it rushes, the evil advances. When it watches, the evil waits. When it strikes, the frame cuts. The final rush isn't aimed at Ash alone. It's aimed at the audience. Because once you've seen the film, you've shared its perspective, you've carried its motion, you've completed its loop. The camera doesn't stop at the cabin door, it follows you out, and that means the evil didn't remain on screen, it changed vantage points. The ending. They didn't want you to find the evil dead doesn't end with survival, it ends with absorption. The cabin stands, the woods remain, the book waits, and somewhere inside that silence, something is still moving. If the camera ever rushes again, it won't be chasing someone new, it will be remembering Ash. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into horror's hidden truths, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories buried where they were never meant to be found.